Okay, so dear Esther, in previous session we have started graphical user interface development using PyQt5 library from Python. So today we will extend the same topic, and today I am going to develop some sort of calculator. Might be possible we would be able to complete a interface today. Anyhow, let me start, and we will check how much we are able to complete the calculator. Okay, first of all, I am going to create a new class. For that, I have to go to the folder. You can see at the left side of Explorer, I can go to your specific folder, and your folder is selected. Now I can create a new class, a new file, and I can name that uh, file uh, as calculator, and names should be descriptive. So calculator.py means I am going to create a new file, which is a Python file, definitely, because the extension is .py and the name of the file is calculator. Now I am going to develop some sort of user interface for calculator. For that, let me show you calculator from the design from the Microsoft Windows. Rather, we are not going to develop such sort of uh, more function calculator, but first of all we will try to develop a user interface that might be similar. And after developing some sort of interface, then we will try to implement functionality. Okay, so first of all, we have to import different libraries from previous session. First of all, we have to import sys library, system library. Then from pyqt5, and there is a framework, qt widgets. And from this framework I have to import a lot of different modules, which are who are going to play which are going to play important role in developing our user interface. And for example, q application, fine. Then, and you can see, whenever I am writing initials of any of the module or library, this IDE has complete or IDE has suggest me some relevant keywords. For example, more I have to import Q widget, and I have written capital Q, then a W, and you can see there are a lot of different modules available. But right now I want to import Q widget, and it will assist us in drawing some widgets, for example buttons, text field, and so on. Then previously we have seen some vertical layout, but today we are going to explore grid layout is just like, let me reopen the calculator. uh, Grid layout helps us to create interface where there are different number of rows and number of columns. For example, let me first of all explain you. uh, for example, if it is a interface, and you can see there, these are the rows, all of rows. Then these are the columns. So grid layout uh, offers us to draw user interfaces, and the interfaces where there are different number of columns and rows available. So that I have to import Q grid layout, and whenever I am writing QGRI, and you can see there are different type of modules available, but I am interested in Q grid layout. Then I have to import some module for push buttons. And from previous, even from previous session, there is a interface for push button, q push button, which is available in this list. I am interested in this one. Then I have to also import editable line, which is q line edit. And I think all of these modules we are going to use in our calculator, simple calculator application. Now I have imported necessary modules and libraries. So right now I am going to develop my calculator. First of all, I have to create a class. After writing uh, class keyword, I have to write name of the class, which should be some descriptive. For example, I am saying calculator GUI. Fine. Rather simple UI is enough, because it is definitely GUI. And I have to import this class, I have to inherit this class from QWidget, which is the QWidget is the parent class. By inheriting this parent class, we would be able to draw different type of widgets. And I have installed few some of the extensions. By importing those extensions, now this IDE sometime will suggest me some important line of codes which are necessary part of some development. So the next line, I have to define init constructor def underscore underscore init. So it is suggesting me. I will also guide you about this extension, and you can install this extension into your PC. So whenever you will get some important suggestion, then what you have to do, you have to only press tab button, and all of this suggested line of code will be written there, just like I am pressing my tab button and I get this code. Next line, I am hopeful it will suggest again super dot init. So again I have to press tab button, and the next line, self dot init. I am hopeful it will suggest me self dot set window title. We can set window title, and first of all we have to call self dot init dot ui, because sometime it is suggesting us some important and necessary line of codes. Otherwise we may write by ourselves, because whenever artificial intelligence is playing its role, if AI is individually enough for development, then there would be no need of developers anyhow. We can choose what suggestion we are required in our development, and what suggestion we have to deny. Okay, so next we have to define some sort of function, def define function, which is used for initialization of user interface. And we have to pass some sort of self keyword here. Now here I want to set the window title, which it was suggesting me previously, but right now I have to use this self for setting the window title. And whenever I am written set window, it will suggest me window then title. This one I have to use, this one. Whatever the title, I will write in pair of parentheses in double quotes. The string which I will write here, it will be there on the title bar of the user interface or graphical user interface. So I can write here calculator Then I can set the dimensions of the window which I am going to draw. So I have to use this self keyword again, dot set geometry, and whenever I am calling this function, whenever I am writing writing here opening and closing parentheses, I have to provide here some arguments, and I have to provide width and height and x and y axis where this calculator will be where this window will be displayed. First of all, x-axis, y-axis, width and height. Then I can use different. You can see it is suggesting me x-axis int, y-axis int, then width and height. 400 width and height could be 500, 600, whatever you want to use here. Okay, now I have set the title of the window, I have set the dimensions, and where the window will be displayed over my screen. Now I have to draw some sort of layout. I can use grid. I can initialize grid layout, or otherwise I also can create some widgets. After that I can initialize grid layout. Both things are possible, but right now I am interested to draw some layout. And from the previous discussion, and you already know, whenever we want to write some comments, we have to use this hash symbol, uh, draw different draw different widgets. And widgets are buttons and edit lines and so on. So first of all I have to draw uh, some edit lines. For that I have to say input underscore field, whatever name I want to use I can, but the name should be descriptive. You can see now I want to draw some sort of text field where we will enter our numbers or equations to solve, just like in this calculator. It is a text field, fine, where some input data is displayed. Okay, so input underscore field equal. Now I have to call the widget which is qline edit, and here I have to pass self keyword. Okay, now so whatever the button we want to draw, we can store in some sort of list which we already discussed in previous sessions. And lists are created by using opening and closing square brackets. I can draw here different type of different buttons, and these I can adopt these suggestions. On the other hand, I can write uh, by myself. For example, I am saying one, then two, then, and it's up to me how much columns and rows I want to use. For example, you can see there are different number of rows in this case. There are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 rows, and 4 columns. So I can decide at my end. Normally you can see in first 3 columns there are buttons, in fourth column there is some sort of operator. So I am using 1 2 3. Then in fourth column I can draw some operator. In my case I want to draw here plus symbol, plus operator. Then I can write here 1 2 3 4, and you can see he's suggesting me next line by AI code generation 456. It's adopt this, and how I can use this line of code by just by pressing my tab button, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and the operator is asterisk. So I only have to press tab, then next line the dot, decimal, then zero, then division, then equal. It's fine, but I can use some other combination also, but I think it's fine. And I have to press the tab button. Okay, now for simplicity, we just want to create 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and some operators and equal sign. What I can do more, I can change this with equal and this with division operator, so that in the fourth column there are only operators, and I am shifting equal to the previous column. Okay, now here I can call, I can call some grid layout. For example, I am saying it is only a variable grid underscore layout, and what I want to do, I want to call this q grid layout. By calling this module, I will have a object of qgrid layout, and I can put all of the buttons, all of the vertical, horizontal, in the form of row and column. I can put all of the buttons I can fit all of the buttons in this uh, grid layout. And q here is just for representing qt widgets. Q is for, and you can notice with every type of module from Qt widget, every module is starting with Q application, because we are going to develop application by using Qt widgets, then Q widget, then Q grid layout, then Q push button, then Q line edit. Okay, it's fine. Now what I can do here, I have initiated Q grid layout. Now ultimately I have to use this for loop, but before using for loop, I have to declare and initialize here two variables, row and call. And believe me, it is something different from all of the other languages. Python is little different. I can, if I want to use some variables for drawing Q grid layout, I can initialize these two variables by using a single assignment operator. I want to initialize row with 1 and column with 0, so I can write this way. But it is the unique way to initialize row and column, which is available only in Python. Okay, now I can call for loop, but not this way. What I have to do, for, then I have to call button text. Okay, I can use this suggestion button in buttons, because all of my buttons are available in buttons list. So you remember from the past, I want to iterate. Let me check if it is recording. Yes, fine. I want to iterate all of this list, and each value will be stored in this variable, which is button in my case. So I can use this suggestion for button in buttons. Now whatever the value of button, right now at first instance the value of the button will be 1, this one. Okay, what I have to do, I have to write here Let me check what it is suggesting me. It is saying if button equal plus or button equal this or button. Yes, I can write code myself. For example, what I have to do here, uh, button is equal to q push. Let me check. Yes, it is the okay, because I want to use this value as a button text. So what I and further I also need some sort of object of the button. So I am saying button button equal q push button, which is which is a built-in module to draw different buttons. I can use this value, which is at first iteration it would be 1, and I am saying cube push button with this value, fine, which is 1 in my case right now, and I have to pass self also. So it has created a object of button. Now what I want to do, I only want to call some sort of event which would use to manage the clicking of the button. So I can call button dot clicked, and you remember from previous session I have to call button dot clicked dot connect, and I can call self dot handle. It is it self dot handle underscore button underscore uh, click. And this function, I have to write this function by myself as a user defined function later on. But whenever this button will be clicked, so this function must called there, fine. Okay, now further what I have to do, I have to add all of these buttons into the layout, and the layout in my case is grid layout. So I can copy this variable grid layout dot add widget, which is a function to add the widget into some specific form of layout. Okay, add widget. And because it is first iteration for the for loop, so what I have to do, I have to pass here this object, this one. So I am saying add widget with this with this object at the row, because this grid layout has some sort of columns and rows. So I also have to tell here the column and rows. So I am saying a button should be created with whatever the number of row is there, and whatever the number of column is there. Whenever the first widget is uh, added into the grid layout, then what I can do, I can increase in column call plus equal 1, and I am saying it will be added in the grid layout until, because I want to write here 4 columns at max. So whenever column will be uh, greater than 3, I want to change the value of value of column should be 0. After finishing this uh, first row buttons, what I can do, I also can increase value of row by 1. And previously it was suggesting the code I just want to show it is suggesting me the accurate code. So I can press here tab button only, And right now, I have to add widget into the I have to add this grid layout into the main screen. So I am saying grid underscore layout dot add widget. Where I want to add, I want to add by using this self keyword dot input underscore field, and add some specific, uh, at what widget and at what row and at what column I want to add this at 0 row, at 0 column. And further, there is a alignment, and there are different type of alignments. I am using 1 and 4. Okay, so this way this layout will be added. Further, I want to I have to set this layout by calling self.setLayout, and this IDE is suggesting me the accurate code self.setLayout. So what I have to do, I have to only press tab button, and so until here I think the function has been completed. Fine. Now, I have created here uh, this handle underscore button underscore click. Now I have to create this function. I have to define this function. Although we can check the layout first. After that, we can define this function. What will happen by clicking any of the button, for example by clicking 1 2 3 0, and what will be happen by clicking plus and minus and multiplication and division, by pressing equal, what will happen. So we can define this function. But right now, what I am doing, I am defining this function, and I can copy the same name from here, because there is no typographical mistake. Handle underscore button underscore click. And right now, for only checking the result of layout, what I am saying, I am only writing here uh, button clicking logic, and I can develop all of this function later on. So now, from previous session, now I have to define here main function. For that, I have to use def keyword, then main, and after that I have to call this application Q application. Yes, it is suggesting me the accurate way, so I have to press only tab. Then I have to call the UI, which is in my case uh, calculator UI. So I have to call this class. I have to create object of this class, and by using calculator equal calculator UI, by creating object of this class, which I have created at the top of from line number 4. So I have created calculator UI object. Fine. Now it's fine. It is app created, then object of calculator user interface have been created. Now I want to show this user interface by calling the, for example, if I'm changing the name of the object, then you can see it will change the suggestion, call cal.show. So this dot show function will be called upon object of this user interface class, whatever the name of the object. I have to call the show function at the same object name. Right now it will show calc.show. Anyhow, I have to use this code. Then I have to exit the app whenever it is doing its task. After that, at the end I have to call the main function by writing this code this way: underscore 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 main, and at the end I can write colon. Now I have to write here this way. Let me check. uh, yes, I think here something is missing. Now it's good. Let me check. Yes. mm, if here should be some space. Okay, there was a little error. I have to define this function outside the class, from outside this rather this function init UI. So due to only this wrong definition, the whole program was not running. And what I did, only you can observe, previously this function definition was inside init UI. So what I have to do, uh, uh, I have to define this function from outside the previous function. So by exiting from that definition, this code is going to run. And you can see what we have developed here. We have developed this simple interface, and here it's a edit line, uh, text field. Then there are different buttons: 1 2 3 plus 4 5 6 minus. And because we have developed this way, so it is looking like this. Otherwise I can do some other way. I can draw some other interface. So it's up to us how and what we want to develop. Let me explain. You can see, first of all, we have imported system library. Then from PyQt5 I have imported, and from framework Qt widget I have imported different modules: Q application, widget, Q grid layout, Q push button, and Q line edit. Then I have created this class which is going to develop right now only user interface of my calculator. Then I have to call the constructor, and then parent class constructor. Then I have to call this user interface function, and I am going to develop actual user interface. Here I have set the window title, then the windows which will display over the screen. And after that I am going to create different widgets. First of all, this added text line, which is displayed at the top of the window, this one. And you can see the title of the window is calculator. After that, I want to create buttons by using by using grid layout. And I normally, what I can do, I can write different rows and columns just the way how I want to draw in the screen. But I have to manage rows and columns by using this for loop, this one. So first of all, I have created a list for all of the buttons what I want to draw here. Then I have got object of QGrid layout in this variable. Then I have initialized variable row with 1 and column with 0. Then I have written here for loop for button underscore text. It will get each value from this list. The list is, uh, okay, the list is this one. So what I'm going to do, I am going to create objects of button by using q push button, and I am calling this label or text. Also I have to pass here self keyword. Then I am going to call clicked button dot clicked dot connect function, which will, whenever the button will be connect, it will call this function automatically. Then because this for loop will iterate for four uh, four different buttons in a row. So four cells in each row into four columns. So this array will iterate for 16 times, and this way 16 button will be created by using this text. Then all of these button will be added into our layout, which is grid layout dot add widget, and object of the button is here at the specific row at the specific column. So whenever the first button will be added, it will increase in a column. Let me tell you how it will work. First of all, this button will be added. Then it will be added at the column 1, column 0. Then the value of the column will be increased. Then next button will be added to column 1, then 2, then 3. Whenever the value of the column is going to more than 3, then what will happen, it will reset to 0. And at the same time the value of the row will be increased by 1. After exiting from if condition, all of these widgets will be added into grid layout. Then what we are doing, we are uh, we are setting layout of grid layout, and this way all of the 16 buttons will be added into layout. Then we have to create this function which will be called every time whenever any of the button will be clicked. But right now there is no logic. We can work over that logic in the next lesson. After that, we have created main function, and in main function I have called this queue application module. And I also get the object of calculator UI class, and I want to show this user interface. Then whenever this window is doing its task, I have to exit this window, and after that I am going to run the main function. So this way I have created the user interface for this calculator. And in next session we can write some logic what will happen by clicking 1 and 2 and 3 and all of these buttons, even plus minus multiplication and equal. And by pressing equals button, the result should be shown. We can work over the logic of all of these button clicks in next session. I think it's enough for today. If you have any confusion, or if you have any question, you can ask. And already there was some sort of problem just defining this function inside the other function scope. So sometimes these things take some time to tackle. Anyhow, you are welcome to ask any question if you have.